Today we're going to be on page 106 of your Bible book, and we're going to be looking at a story of David and how he is a great example of forgiveness. So go ahead and get there, and also have your Bible so that you can be in 1 Samuel with me. Let's go ahead and read together what it says. It says, "No one had more reason to hate someone than David did." Do you remember how Saul tried to kill him? That's why. But getting even with someone is never the answer. David passed up 2 chances to kill King Saul. Do you remember how he almost killed him and then he cut the side of his robe instead? Both times Saul was trying to kill David. David truly had a forgiving spirit. That's the ultimate of forgiveness. You forgive someone who was trying to kill you. Can you imagine that? Not just because someone took your pencil or someone, wouldn't get out during tag, but someone who tried to kill you. So I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the story that's in 2 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1 through 16. Please take the time to read it when you have a moment, but I'm just going to kind of paraphrase what it says from what it says in our book. It says, in this story, an Amalekite man told David that Saul was dead. To prove it, he gave David Saul's bracelet and crown. The Amalekite said he had killed the king. Let's go to verse 10 and see what it says. It says in verse 10, "So I stood beside him and killed him, because I knew that after he had fallen, he could not survive. And I took the crown that was on his head and the band on his arm and have brought them here to my Lord." Why is this so significant? Well, if you remember, David is supposed to become king. So when he took away the crown and the armband and gave it to David, it was signifying that David was now supposed to become king. In our book it says, "Many men would have been glad to hear such news about after all Saul had done." Verse 11, let's read it, and 12, and we're going to read them and write down how David really felt about Saul's death. So we're going to read 11 and 12. "Then David and all the men with him took hold of their clothes and tore them. They mourned and wept and fasted till evening for Saul and his son Jonathan, and for the army of the Lord, and for the nation of Israel, because they had fallen by the sword." So how did they feel? They actually were sad and mourned his death. Write that down. They were sad and mourned his death. They weren't happy throwing a party. They actually did the right thing, which was to show respect for the fact that he was dead. In our book, it says, in 2 Samuel 2:4, David is crowned king, which we knew was going to happen because, remember, God anointed him. In the long years that David had waited to become king, he had learned many important lessons. And remember, we learned about that, about him being faithful, about him being patient, and all those different things he learned. Tell how you think David showed that he had the following character traits. So the first one says a forgiving spirit. How did David have a forgiving spirit? What do you think? Hopefully you said that he had many opportunities that he could have killed Saul, but instead he held back. He did not put revenge upon him. The next one says patience. How did David show patience? Hopefully you said something like, well, he had to wait to become king, and so he was patient in that very long time. How did he show humility? Hopefully you said something like, David did not let pride overcome him, but he had humility waiting for God's timing. So if David could forgive Saul for almost trying to kill him, I'm pretty sure we can forgive people for the small things that they do to us. That we can forgive people even if the person doesn't know we're forgiving them. A lot of times we have to forgive without the person even knowing we forgave because we need to be right between us and God. And with that, we will also be right between us and the person.